Hi, I'm David Dowdy, your local business coach. I own Action Coach Lake Norman, your local business training and coaching organization. And I am thrilled to have an old friend, Greg Law, with Sweet Dreams Furniture and Mattress on the Business Spotlight today. So, Greg, great to have you on. Why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about your story and tell us about Sweet Dreams.
Well, thanks for having me on, David. And I love how you said that, an old friend. It just brings back lots of great memories. And that's what we love about our community is just everybody loves supporting local business. And we've made so many great friends over the years. And you get to, it's a small town atmosphere, but it's also kind of a big town because you can go years without seeing somebody. And it's always great to catch up. But that, like you said, Greg Law, Sweet Dreams Furniture and Mattress. I own this company with my wife, Katie Law, and we started with my parents 22 years ago. We're celebrating our 22-year anniversary, and it's just been an absolute joy of our marriage and our relationship with our parents and our family. I was telling you earlier that we've gotten to spend so much more time with them than we would have if we didn't do this together. And we love using the business as a vehicle to do greater good work. Our vision is to help as many people as possible achieve their dreams. And for us, that really starts with our team, like the people on our team, the dream team.
Mhm.
We've considered ourselves more in the people business than we are the furniture and mattress business. We love investing in our team, developing them to help them achieve their dreams, and together we can serve and to help as many more people achieve theirs.
That's amazing. 22 years getting to work with family. And I know personally that you consider your entire team sort of like family as well, and the community recognizes that. And you're did you start in Mooresville 22 years ago?
We did. Yeah. So Katie and I went to Florida State University. I paid my way through school working. And so I started in the restaurant business, loved the service and hospitality, ended up managing a mattress store to pay my way through college. I actually loved it because I put that service and hospitality into it, and people were expecting, what they're used to, like lousy service.
Right.
But man, we could do this so much better by just treating people right. My parents retired. We graduated, got married, moved to North Carolina, and started the business all in like 6 months' time in 2000. And Katie and I have teenagers now, and we're like, we could not imagine doing that with kids, or just can't believe. But we're so glad that we did, and we've enjoyed the ride ever since.
That's fantastic. You started when you did. I mean, I see other people, you and I both know other people starting businesses in the midst of family, kids, other dynamics going on, a little bit later in life, and it certainly confuses some things. But if you had to do it all over, knowing what you know now, what might you do differently?
It's interesting. With the way we got started, just real quick like that. And I remember Katie and I were just so excited to just hop in with both feet and just get after it. And I'm
Yeah.
so glad that we did. But I also realized that we could have benefited a lot more from planning. We used to joke about how if we wrote a book, I think we talked about it in like year 8 or something. If we wrote a book, we would have titled it "Winging It with Greg and Katie Law." But I tell you what, there's two great lessons there where like I think it's worth it. Like hop in with both feet and get after it. And you feel everything is figure outable. You're going to be able to figure it out as you go along, as long as your intentions are right. And that's
Right.
what we did really well. I think is that we always put service and customer service, but like the person that we're dealing with at the focus of our attention. And what can we do to be the best solution for them? Find out what their needs are, find out what they really are dealing with, and like help them solve it. And that's something that we put at the forefront of our business to begin with, and that's what's gotten us through every ups and downs over the years, just putting service and treating our people like that. But we used to kind of keep things close to the vest. I remember, we would go to the markets, we'd see other dealers in our industry, and we just wouldn't associate with them too much because we wouldn't want them stealing our secrets. And
Everybody's a competitor.
oh,
Everybody.
and then one day, like, we joined about 10 years ago, we joined Nationwide Marketing Group, which is a buying group in our industry.
Okay.
We learned and took classes and like met all these other great dealers from around the country. And we found out that there were wise people that had already dealt with all the issues that we were dealing with, and they had a better way to do it. And like, man, we just grew and took off so much better when we stopped pretending that we knew everything and listened and collaborated with and got involved in our industry. And I wish we would have done that right from day one. And then also documenting those processes. So, I talked about winging it with Greg and Katie Law, but our warehouse and delivery manager jokes about all these policies that we have written now. And it was like, I wish I would know the story behind each one of these policies because something happened that made Greg write these policies. And it's important to have processes and systems documented. And it took us too long to figure that out. And we were too busy winging it. And
Isn't that so true? Once you build in some consistency, even if it's consistently bad, at least it gives you something to work with that you can make the improvements with. But those processes, documented processes and procedures will give you some kind of consistency you can work to improve.
right. Well, we always took our pride on, having like that good family feel, comfortable. Everybody just wants to be relaxed around each other, and employees and customers and all. And let's just, keep our core values at the forefront, which is great. But actually defining those things provides more freedom for the people that work for us, and that makes them more comfortable. It allows people to actually be able to know what they're dealing with, know what the rules are, but then also feel more free to do what they need to do. It was actually very liberating to be able to do that.
That's awesome. So I'm curious, you're already sharing some of the learnings that you had coming out of the gates, but joining up with your parents to start the business, were they entrepreneurs? What influence did they have in your learnings, or what are some of the big lessons?
Oh, Katie and I are eternally grateful for both of our sets of our parents, her parents and my parents. We've learned so much from them, all the way through every step of our life. So my dad was retired from Florida Power Corporation, where he really climbed the corporate ladder there and did a great job and learned a lot about business, had his master's degree in business. My mom was in real estate, but then also raised 4 children. So the lessons that they had learned through their lives, they had certainly taught us so much. And I still thank my dad to this day on, he was so good at instilling confidence in us. So I think that's why we, graduated, got married, moved to North Carolina, and opened business in 6 months, because we just had so much confidence that were instilled in us by our parents.
Yeah.
Then Katie's dad is an accountant. He worked for Deloitte, had a brilliant career with Deloitte. His mom, her mom raised 4 children as well. So having those influences on us and that's how that became our process for how we made major decisions, is okay, here's the situation, here's the facts, let's bounce these off our parents and get their advice, and then like try to move in the right direction. And then as we grew, we would include, our employees as well, and other advisors that we would have. So that was invaluable for us to be able to make it through and to survive, really.
And it's interesting, the way that you're describing that is such that your parents were an influence for you and Katie, a resource for you, but I don't get the sense by the way you're talking that they were telling you what to do. And there are some parents that have been there, done that, and they're going to tell their kids exactly how to do it and not let them really learn on their own and make their own decisions.
Looking back, I can't believe that they were able to do that. And I think that takes a lot of wisdom and a lot of, I don't know, self-control on their part, because we made a lot of mistakes,
Well, as parents,
and looking back,
we want to just give them the answer.
survive. But man, I don't think it works for families if it's the other way. If they would have grabbed the wheel and
Right.
took control, then that could have been back. And so what a master class on how to learn business is to allow us to figure those things out as we went, but still kind of guide us,
Yeah. Yeah.
offer advice at least.
All right. Wow. So small business owner, and currently you're at 4 locations. Is that right?
Yes, yeah, we opened with one, Brawley School Road in Mooresville. We moved that over to where it is now about 10 or 12 years ago, and it's in front of Sam's Club by Five Guys.
Yeah.
And we started with with original dream team of 4, and now we have a team of 32, 4 store locations in a central warehouse.
Wow. Wow. Impressive growth. So there's plenty of misconceptions about small business ownership. You're going to have all the time in the world. You're going to make plenty of money, and it's just going to be easy. So, talk to us a minute about what some of those misconceptions that you're aware of might be, and kind of how you faced them, and what the reality of it might be.
Well, I mentioned how we opened with great confidence. We fully expected to put a sign on the outside of the store, and that customers were going to come running in. That was how naive I was, because I managed a mattress store. I didn't start that mattress store. It had already been there for 4 years. So when I took over, customers were already flowing in. I didn't realize what it took, the grit that it takes, and the persistence to get your name out there, get the relationships started, grow relationships, grow your involvement in the community. All that takes time. So the first 8 months, we got about 8 months into the business, and it had been like, especially in the beginning, it was crickets. It was quiet and but one thing we did really, really well right from the beginning is we immediately got involved in the community for the right reasons. We just love people, and we love being able to find great people doing great things and use the business to support what they're already doing. So sponsoring Little League teams. So rather than just doing that and putting our sign up, we would treat the team to pizza parties and get to know all the parents. Katie and I, our date night would be to work in the store all day, and then we'd go deliver at night. And then I remember sitting on people's back porches and getting to know them, and they'd invite us to have service a glass of tea or something, sit on their back porch. And we're still friends with those people today. Got involved in the Chamber of Commerce, anything that charities, churches, just things that we wanted to be involved in because we loved it. And then you make friends, and people know, like, and trust you. And those are the people that are going to get a bat for you and come in and shop with you and bring people in. So that's something that we're really thankful for. But here's our testimony too, is about 8 months into the business. The business was nowhere near where it needed to be to survive. Mm-hmm. And my mom had been praying on her knees for months in the store, and Katie and I would join her a lot. But I really believe that the Lord has blessed our business because of my mom and her faithfulness. But the day that she shared with me that her brother, my oldest brother, his church put us on their prayer list, the same day that she shared that with me, a couple that we had met from around town in our involvement came in and bought $8,000 worth of furniture and mattresses. And we had never seen a sale anywhere close to that. And it couldn't have come at a more critical time, because cash flow was due, bills were due, cash flow was tight. And I just remember being so excited with writing the receipt and thinking, man, what an answer to prayer. And I look up, and I hadn't noticed it before, but her shirt said, "Jesus is Lord," across the front of it. And I was like, man, I just need to make sure I always share that, because the next day we woke up in the store and it was busier. And the day after that was busier. And we've been we grew into where the business got into the black, and we had to hire our first employee, and then he helped us grow, and like we grew to where we needed Jimmy, who's still with us, and Catherine and Andy, and like each person that's joined the dream team has helped us get to that next level. And that's when somebody starts with our company, we take them to breakfast and I tell them this story. I want them to know what they're a part of. But now we've grown to 32, and that's what I tell them. It's like, I want you to know what you're part of, because we've grown to the point where we need your help. And knowing what we stand for and what we're part of, we want you to help us grow to the next level, because we're going to count on you to help us train the next person that joins the dream team. But that's our story, and that's our team. Anybody that wants to listen, I want to be able to share that, because we were kind of scratching. If that didn't come at that time, the critical time, I don't know if we would have made it.
Yeah, significant turning point. And the way it came about was very, very clear to you and Katie exactly what happened. Well, thank you for sharing that. I want to go back to the marketing side just a minute. So many people, you talked about turn the lights on, you got a storefront. We're in business. Traffic will naturally come, and that's not necessarily the way in today's age, so many people are relying so much on the digital aspects of marketing, but yet you guys jumped right into the community aspect. And the reality is many are leaning on being keyboard warriors and doing the digital side and hoping and praying that business will come in. But there's the different aspects of marketing. What would you tell somebody that is not comfortable with the networking, the relationships, social side of marketing, investing? We got time and money, right? When you're starting out, not much money and a lot of time. And maybe that's why you guys went into the marketplace personally. But for those that aren't comfortable with that, what would you say to them, and why it's so important? You shared why it's important to your business, but
sure, I think it's critical to be authentic. You hear a lot of people say that, but it's so true. And then to be able to have that reflect through all of your marketing. So one of the favorite things that I learned in getting involved in our industry was one of my good friends now, his name is Mark Kinsley. He's really a great contributor in our industry, but I first heard him speak years ago, and he said, it's not good enough to just say that you're local and expect that to matter to people, or just say that you're a family-owned business and expect that to mean anything to a potential customer. You have to prove it, so it's really about making the customer the star of the show. It's like, what are we doing to be able to benefit others and the person that's considering doing business with us? So I took that to heart, and one of the best ways to prove that is through video. So we're constantly, and our mantra is work hard, play hard, serve others, and grow. So to be able to show what we're doing with the business on a week-to-week basis. So whatever posts we do on social media, whatever we try to put out there, we just want to share what we want people to know about us. So my advice to whoever would be asking that question, let's say they don't do it exactly how we do it, but we need to be able to prove what we're offering to people. So being able to reflect that either in video or through something that allows somebody to understand what we're doing to benefit them. So why would I choose Sweet Dreams? Why would I choose any business? And to be able to have that tell a story and to prove what we stand for and what our beliefs are, and why that matters to the viewer.
That's gold there. People buy from people, and through video, through stories on your website, through things like this, where they see you in the community, they get to know who you really are and get to experience that authenticity.
Yeah. So we really it really helped our business a lot to find our advertising agency who were friends of ours before, and then when they started their agency in 2018, we signed on with them. And they're very gifted at being able to keep us on track with not only our digital marketing, pay-per-click, and then YouTube and all that social, and we
Yeah.
love our own content too, but then they help us, like they're a part of our team where they come in with their cameras and they film commercials. They film like what they help us put our content together and then in a professional way and then keep us on track. And then we're doing all of our own community involvement on top of that. So we're working together as a team to try to prove it each and every day.
Yeah, there's great content and a lot of what you do, you're serious about serving the customers, but you do have fun along the way. I see some of your videos and commercials and whatnot. It is certainly a fun environment with you and Katie. So
Yeah, we call it Dream Team University here. So I mentioned developing our
mhm,
people, but we want to make sure that when we're done with this business, when it's all said and done, or when each person on our team is done with their time here, that they look back not with regret that did I just work for a paycheck or did I just work to sell stuff? Like, no, we want to grow new skills. We want to serve others. We want to make a meaningful difference in our community, and we want to figure out how to grow as people every step of the way so that we can look back and be like, that man, that was a fun ride.
yeah. So you've talked a lot about your people. It started from very small group up to 32 now. So you've shared how you communicate with them and the things you offer. What are you looking for in interviews through the application process? What characteristics, skills, and things are you looking for in a great addition to the dream team there?
Well, I mentioned earlier on how in the beginning we were just winging it and then
Hmm.
started to really document things. It started with our core values. So we knew who we are and who we were and what we stood for, but we didn't have a great way to articulate that. And we realized that, and we were taught that if we don't define those, then all of our people we're just at the mercy of however each one of our people perceived what we stand for. Everybody could kind of make up their own assumptions on that.
Right.
So defining our core values was step number one. We've developed an acronym which is DREAMS: dedicated to God and the greater good, responsibility, energy, effort, and excellence, all about the team, measured growth and partnerships, and service above self. And so we put that up front before we ever even interview somebody. We talk about it during the interview process. When every employee starts with us, we have them memorize it and recite it to the whole team, and then we continually review on that. So during the interview process, I think that's important to to share what we believe in, what our values are, ask
Hmm.
them how they resonate with it. And during that conversation, we're also asking ourselves the Thanksgiving test. Would we want this person to come over and spend Thanksgiving dinner with our family? And
Never heard it worded like that before, but
yeah,
I
I,
like that.
I think that's key for our culture is all of our people. We're getting ready for a Christmas party coming up in a month, and
Mhm.
I always ask people like, so what would you like to see us do this year for the Christmas party? And it's always, we just want to be able to hang out with everybody. And that's the culture that we've built by doing that. Like we recruit on the values, and then we recruit people that we think are going to complement the team that's already here, and
Mhm.
love working together.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. So over the years now, 22 years and raising kids, living life, how do you keep that in check? I mean, with all the complexity of the business and personal life and all the community service that you guys do, how do you keep it in check for that work-life balance, take care of you, your relationships with your wife, your kids, parent, all that?
Yep. All about the team. So we've got a great team that are just getting a lot of things done together. So it used to really feel like everything had to funnel through Greg and Katie.
Hmm.
And so when we defined those values, when we stopped winging it and started really documenting processes, that has taken tons off our shoulders, but we still do a lot, So that's why we are constantly reciting that mantra: work hard, play hard, serve others, and grow. And that's our recipe for enjoying the ride. We love working hard because we feel like we're growing something, we're building something great together.
Yeah.
So that's not a burden. And so many people assume that. That is, I just said to Katie the other day, I think like, and what we do, if you can stomach the comments that a lot of people make, then you're going to be okay, as long as you can keep it in perspective. Because so many people are like, oh man, how do you do, like, you guys work so hard, like, well, we love what we do, but we do like we call timeouts, and then we go play hard.
Yeah.
We've got great friends that we love, great hobbies, we're involved in great things that we love to do. That's not hard, that's fun. And then we love serving others, so we don't feel empty inside. We feel like we're using Sweet Dreams as a vehicle to do greater good work. So that's how we take success to significance, so we don't have regret. And then we got to grow. We can't get complacent. We got to figure out what we can do better so that we can serve better, and so we don't feel like we're in a lull. You know, we got to like learn new skills, and we got to get sharper and better, and build everybody up on our team to do that at the same time.
Man, there's so much good in this. I appreciate you sharing. As we start to wrap up here, any final thoughts or words of wisdom you might share with another business owner?
I feel like I love being in a constant state of learning.
Mm.
I think that um, the morning routine has helped me as a mechanism, as a game plan or a process to get better and to grow. Like really writing out my morning routine so that I can have time to think before anybody's up, learn, read, exercise, and then I feel like I have a personal victory before all the craziness happens. But I'm still learning. I have so much to learn, and so much to look forward to. I think the future is bright.
Sounds
And
like you start early.
I started early, but it wasn't always that way. So
Yeah.
you know, the interruptions of the day will take over and it'll derail you every time. But we have to be intentional about it. Let's control what we can control. And there's some great books about that morning routine. The Morning Miracle is great.
Yes, sir.
But it's finding what works for you, and like you just get on that, like that nice little personal victory every day. Goes a lot for being able to handle all the stress that, you know, we all know comes with owning your own business. So let's control what we can control.
Certainly. Well, keep up the good work. Greg Law, Sweet Dreams Furniture and Mattress. Man, I really appreciate everything you shared with us this morning and being on the Business Spotlight. Thanks for all you do in the community.
Thank you, David.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Take care.